Hey guys, Shurum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Nissan 370Z Nismo Neon Edition at 3 stars in Asphalt 9 multiplayer. Please consider subscribing if you have not already, and be sure to check out my Shurum Clips channel, Shurum TV channel, and Purple Team Discord. Links to all those will be down in the description, and I hope you enjoy the video. So, the 370Z Nismo is the first car that I'm sure most of us got during the Drive Syndicate 7. It's the car you get right at the very beginning, before it begins to get difficult. Now, you only had to get this car at 2 stars to continue on through the event, and so that's what I did throughout the entire beginning section. The only reason why I got this car to 3 stars is because I realized that given my typically slightly below average luck, on average, if that makes any sense at all, and I accidentally just got knocked down there. But anyway, given that not so great luck I usually get in these packs, I realized I was not going to be able to unlock the Noble. It's kind of unfortunate. Even with all of the wild cards that I had for other cars, the Noble was just way too expensive in terms of the Syndicate coins in order to unlock. So I ended up putting those Syndicate coins toward this car instead to get it to 3 stars, and so I got 3 3-star cars out of the Drive Syndicate 7. I got this one, and I got the Jaguar, as well as the McLaren, the 600 LT, I believe it was. So I should be making videos about those 2 cars very soon as well. I know I haven't been uploading as much recently. The reason for that is because, as I probably mentioned in my previous video, I've been studying pretty hard for an exam that I will be taking in 2 weeks from now, a little bit less than 2 weeks at this point. So hopefully once that is over, and fingers crossed I'm able to pass it, videos should mostly go back to normal, like a couple times a week instead of just once a week as I've been doing for the past month or so. And I've just had a whole lot of other stuff going on as well, living in a new city and everything. So yeah, I hope you guys can understand that. Videos are not going anywhere like permanently. It's just a time of fewer recording sessions that I'm able to do. So that's why there are fewer videos. But I should be making videos about the other 2 cars from the Drive Syndicate, and the new Saline, and some of the other new cars in that season too, like the McLaren Solus GT, which is a very interesting car, and one that I had a lot of fun driving, so I'm interested to share that with you guys. So definitely stay tuned for all of that coming, hopefully in the not too far future. Now, of course, let's talk about the main car of the video, the 370Z Neon Edition. Many of you may know that this car was originally part of the China release of Asphalt 9. It's been in that game for, it's got to be at least a couple years at this point. I've heard a ton about this car from the China edition for a long time now, and it's finally made its way to the global edition of the game. And it has surprised me, I must say. I mean, when I first got the car, at 2 stars, and I was driving, and it was like, this pretty much just feels like any other low-end D-Class car. It was only going 178 miles per hour, which is just barely faster than the slowest cars in the game. Like the Leaf, which is also a nitro, or a perfect nitro dependent car, the car that goes faster in perfect nitro, only goes 173, I believe, than like the Lancer and the Elise, and, you know, a bunch of those other, well, the Elise isn't a low-end D-Class car, but the slower D-Class cars we know of. This one doesn't go much faster than those, only a few miles per hour faster. Then it got to 3 stars. And with the perfect nitro, it's going 180. And I was thinking, okay, this is a bit more respectable. We're getting into the, I guess when a car goes at least 180 in Class D, it becomes not the slowest thing in the world, even though the car is still pretty slow. It got to the point where I was decently able to compete with it, surprisingly, in Silver League. In this video are 5 of the 10 races that I played in this car. I think out of the 10 races I played, 7 of them I was able to get podium positions in. And I even got first place in one of them, as you will see later in the video. So yeah, that was certainly surprising. I did not expect to get more than like a few podiums in this. I didn't even know if I was going to make this video, honestly, when I first started recording. Because there's so many cars that I've started to test and be like, this car is just no good. The video wouldn't be interesting. I'd just be losing all the races. So I decided to give this one a shot, and yeah, as you can see, I'm not really, you know, getting first a lot. I'm not able to compete in general with cars like the Pininfarina, which are pretty much better than me in every way. But in the cases where I'm able to pull ahead toward the beginning for whatever reason, or if I get a couple of knockdowns, which does happen throughout this video, which is kind of weird since that usually doesn't happen. But in those cases, I was able to get a bit further ahead than I expected. And again, surprisingly, I had a decent amount of fun driving this car, which I typically will not say about any kind of D-Class car. And this car's placement in its class kind of reflects that. It's more toward the middle of Class D rather than toward the bottom, as I kind of expected from seeing its stats before. The perfect nitro boost in speed definitely helps it. And it's really the only thing that allows this car to be somewhat decent at all. If it didn't have that, you'd be going like 172 or something like that. I don't even remember what it was since I was in Perfect Nitro so much. I pretty much was never not in Perfect Nitro when I was in Nitro, because what's the point then? You're pretty much going slower than anything else in the game at that point. You know, something else I noticed, I don't think I ever got knocked down in this car. It may have happened once, I don't remember, but out of all the 10 races, I got bumped so many times. Like with that Pininfarina right there. I got bumped, nothing. But then right before then, I just like touched a car and the car exploded. And that happened like in an earlier race too, and so I began thinking, is there some kind of like weird armor or something that this car has that obviously is not in the stats anywhere? I'm sure you guys have noticed this, that some cars just seem to be more adept at getting knockdowns and not getting knocked down as much as other ones. This might be one of them. I don't know. Did I just get lucky? What do you guys think? Have you had any interesting experiences with this car? Now, I'm expecting that most people won't have really played in this car since it's not really all that great, all things considered, but if you have, let me know. As we come into our final race on Osaka, I'll give my general review of this car. Most of its stats are average at best, but also none of them are really all that bad, such that this car is just a pain to drive. I mean, really, I think that the worst stat of this car is the top speed, just being relatively low that it is. But the nitro efficiency is, I would say, long enough for a car that does rely on the perfect nitro boost. Would have been nice if it was a bit longer, but it wasn't to the point where I was just never having enough nitro, or to have what I felt like was enough nitro to stay in perfect nitro a lot of the time. The drifting and handling are good enough to get around most of the corners without an issue, although in slower cars like this one, that's never really all that much of an issue anyway, except if you're, of course, in the SRT8 and you just lose all your speed. This car doesn't have that issue. It doesn't lose a ton of its speed, not that it has a ton to lose anyway, but all in all, fairly fun car to drive. And here till the very end, this is the reason why I got first place. The other guy just took the wrong route, and I somehow got to Gold League in this race with this car. No idea how. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt, Forza, Minecraft, and other games content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!